If you found out that Kudus is already talking about leaving us in January, would you be happy? Hello everyone, my name's Jay. Welcome to Claret and Booze. Please hit the like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And this is my daily ramble. Now, that's not to gaslight anyone, that question, and we will get on to that because there are murmurs already. And I don't want to get caught up in the murmur. What I do want to do though is, let's have a look. Let's be honest, let's not be delusional. How would you be feeling at the moment if you were Kudus? So first and foremost, Brentford. Before the game kicked off, I was really fortunate actually this time. First time in a long time, because I live in Spain. First time in a long time, I had a proper West Ham fan with me who's played football at a good level and has watched football for years and absolutely loves West Ham. Shout out to you, Ricky, and your lovely family. To be able to watch, because normally it's me and my boy Leo, who I'm trying to explain it to, but he didn't do, years of Upton Park. We moved him away from the East End from quite a young age. So, he's not got that imprint like I have and like you have, I'm sure. Those of you that, I'm 43, especially if you grew up in that area. And I emphasize again, if you played football, because there's been a lot of emphasis being put on people that go to the game and people that don't go to the game. Well, I want to put some emphasis on people that have and still do play football and people that maybe haven't. And for the record, I'm doing it from the same light as people are going at this whole in the stadium, at the stadium perspective. What I would suggest, any of the biggest tactical geniuses within a game, like your Pep Guardiolas, like any management, like any coach, where do you do your best analysis? At the game or afterwards, with the benefit of technology, being a television? Right, so that for me squashes that argument. Yes, at a game, you're going to get the atmosphere because you was at the game. Brilliant. And you know what? I'm jealous. I'd love to be at the game with you because I am sitting in Spain, streaming, enjoying as much as I can, but wishing that I was where you were. But not casting judgment on where you are versus where I am. Just seeing it as we're all West Ham and give them a good cheer for me, lads. That's my perspective on the whole in versus out the game. Playing the game. I'm not saying I've made it as a pro, clearly fucking not. No, oh shit, I was trying twice. Try not to swear. Sorry, Nick. I'm going to try not to swear anymore in this video. When you played at a decent level, all right, and I'll go so far to say is this. When you get up, do you remember getting up before school, kicking something around in the house, getting to school a bit early so you could kick a stone or a bit of paper or a bottle in the playground? First break, football. Lunchtime, football, hopefully PE, football, after school, football, training, football match on the weekends. Like, you just play it non-stop. It's imprinted in you. Then you know what? You haven't got to be at the game to know within yourself when you're watching the game, if you're watching good or bad football. And I'll stand on that. Get into the Brentford game, first and foremost. Let's start with the lineup. I'm not going to go through it. What I would say, and happy to be challenged on this, yet again, not our strongest starting 11. In fact, have we seen our strongest starting 11? 6 games in league, 8 games in total. Have we seen our strongest 11 as yet? First off, their goal initially, and again, initially on seeing it the first time round I was watching it, I knew, hold on, that seemed too easy, yet the finish was pure, it was crystal, it was bang on, it was a lovely finish. But shout out to another channel that, which one was it? Can't remember. I've watched a few channels over the last couple of days because I've really wanted to know what other people's takes are currently on West Ham. Because funny enough, I am, regardless of my demeanour may be giving at the moment, I'm still really positive. However, I am feeling a little bit lost, so I've gone to the other channels and had a good look. People am I fucking wrong here? Because I swan again, I want to be wrong. I don't want to be right. Fortunately or unfortunately, I found pretty much every channel at the moment saying the same thing. Saying the same thing. And for those that say it's too early, right? And there's so long to go. Remember the last time we got relegated, and speak to any fan of any relegated team over in their history over this sort of stage of the season, and they'll go, yeah, we were saying that. You know, it's a fine line. It is a fine line between being accepting to, oh yeah, it's early doors and everything else, and hold on, we did see this coming. And at the minute, 6 games in, the fact that I still couldn't tell you what our identity is, what our style of football currently is, I'm starting to see something coming. Why? Because it's happening every flipping game currently. First half against Brentford. Now bear in mind, that was a Brentford B team. Don't get that twisted. That was a Brentford B team we was up against. And thank God that it was. First half, do you know what? After their goal, I enjoyed it. There was some good stuff. I thought, do you know what? This is looking better. Yeah? Souček wasn't as bad. In fact, I'm going to be honest and go to the end in regards to Souček. I don't think he had a bad game. So I'm not going to call him shit when he didn't have a shit game. Do I want him in my team for 90 minutes, starting and 90 minutes? Still, absolutely not. Credit where credit's due. He got the goal and he done a good bit of interplay a couple of times. Like his passing weren't as jank as where it usually was. So first half, I actually enjoyed it, and I thought, and I was with, like I said, I was with my mate Rick, who was there with me, and we both were sitting there going, do you know what? I'm looking forward to the second half. I really am. I'm just trying to think what else. Do you know what else in the first half? I think Mick, he did all right up top. In regards to, when I say he did all right up top, his touch was sticking, because you know with Mick it goes one way or the other. Either every time he gets the ball it's just clinging and clanging off him into all sorts of directions, or he can make it stick. I think he did pretty well with his touch against Brentford. So who else in that first half? I'm trying to think. I think other than, I'll tell you what though, for damn sure, that's what I mean, I can't remember anyone completely sticking out, but I can tell you definitely was not our worst player, Kudus. In fact, I would go as far to say that one of his better performances on the left wing, couple of times got stuck where he'd beat enough people to then you'd expect a couple of bombers that are getting G'd up by looking at him thinking, right, let me get up there for him. Looks up, there's no one there to help him. So run into a bit of a brick wall. I think it was a couple of times. But he weren't dreadful. And he definitely wasn't one of our worst players. And as a direct comparison, if someone said to me, right, and I'm pretty confident, be honest with yourself, take away the emotion and just look at it for what it was. If someone stuck at half time, they said, right, and don't get me wrong, you don't want to be in this position, but they said, right, it's going to be Kudus or Bowen. First and foremost, what? One of them are coming off. Instantly, Bowen. On form of first half, Bowen. Straight off. So let's get to the second half. Me and there, Rick, having a good time. I'm drinking me sin alcohol, non-alcoholic beers, you know, because I don't drink. He's having a bevy. We're having a good time. I'm enjoying being around a West Ham fan. I've enjoyed that first 45 minutes of football. It weren't shit. Do you know why I enjoyed it? Because it weren't shit. That's it, basically, because it wasn't as dross-ridden as what it has been, because there was a few passes link up to play, and I don't think, listen, Paqueta wasn't overwhelming. I don't think he was crap either, though, to be completely honest. Like I said, I just don't think anyone was that jank or that great. However, there was enough to think we've come back from, you know, that the goal was in regards to we've got our spirits up, we're playing some decent football. Second half, bosh, team comes out. Emerson and Kudus. He's basically said, right, our left hand side first half, rubbish. Not good enough, both of you, because both of you are coming off. From that point on, first and foremost, it was difficult not to dismiss the first half, because I'm then thinking, well, what did I watch? I was quite pleased. I was seeing Kudus do a few things on the left, thinking he's looking more up for it today than he has been. Dodgy little few minutes cameo against Liverpool where he wasn't interested in the other games. And I'm going to get to why I'm going to justify his feelings, if he is feeling this way, with something that Lopetegui had said to him prior to the season starting. In fact, he'd done an interview, Kudus, around the Dagenham and Redbridge game. And if you listen to what he said about Lopetegui and where he was going to be played, I think I'd be pretty pissed off at this stage as well. But anyway, so second half comes out, you've got no Kudus and no Emerson. Now, right, let's get to the positives. Right, Mavro came on, he done all right on right back. I still don't want to see Aaron Wan-Bissaka on left back. People saying he's better in left back than he's in right back. For me, no, he's a right back. He's best in right back. Leave him in right back. We've got a perfectly capable left back. He might not be pulling up trees, but we know the ability of Emerson, and he can play down the left comfortably because that's his position, his best position. Soler done all right when he came on. I think Soler played pretty well, to be fair. I can't knock him, and I want to see more from him. You know, if we're going to play in that midfield, I wouldn't mind seeing Paqueta and Soler play together, because I think there's some synergy there and some creativity that them two could start pinging some stuff around. What else in the second half? Jimmy came on. I think, again, Jimmy looked lively. What else was in the second half? Because I don't want to get I think that was it. Yeah, and we got the goal. All right, brilliant. Yeah, we got the goal, 1-0. And for the record, I'm chuffed. But do you know what? On the 1-1 draw, not good enough. And I was speaking to Rick as we was watching it. I was saying, Rick, a draw's not enough. He said, no, it's not. And for those who say, oh, it's better than last season, the Fulham result is better than last season, I don't want that to be enough. When you see the players that he has at his disposal, I don't want to start getting to that stage where all I'm doing is comparing it on last season, because it's this season now, and we've got this set of players. And I put the emphasis, the blame, on the fact that being 6 Premier League games in, on decisions like the blame on Lopetegui for decisions like what we saw against Brentford. Now, I've heard about this bust-up, right? I hope that is true, because if it was purely for a tactical reason, which is why they tried to say it was, but then you go back and again, I've heard it, people saying we were better with Kudus off. F off. Yeah, F off. Watch the first half back. Out of the front lot, he was still our best player. Bowen done nothing. Kudus was way more productive, yet again out of position. So to hook off your best player at half time, trying to think of the words. That's what we had a moment of silence, because Rick was in the kitchen. I've gone, mate, he's subbed Kudus. He's gone, nah, mate, I said, mate, I'm not winding you up. Kudus is off. And now this gets to the point for me, because there's murmurs about the whole fact that he's kicked off and he said he wants out. Now let's have a look at, like I said, what has actually happened for Kudus this season. Going back to that interview, and go back and find it. Kudus does that interview. It's a right, might even been on the West Ham channel, but where he actually says he's excited about playing for this coach, because this coach knows how to use his wingers. Right? That's what he said. Yeah. And then, of course, in pre-season, although it was jank, where was Kudus playing? He was playing right wing. But then I'm thinking with someone like Loppy, he could still turn around and go, yeah, I've done it. You're left-footed. I'll put you on the left wing. He can sort of cover his tracks almost. But if you're Kudus, and you're seeing, because the thing is, we as fans, like I said, I'm just a fan who's passionate. I love West Ham. I ain't a professional football coach, right? I do love watching my team play. It makes my weekend either one way or the other, and I've done it for years. So I've got half an idea about what it is I'm looking at, but not as much as Kudus on the pitch playing the game. Because we talk, and that's why I go back to what I said at the beginning of this video. People talk about being in the stadium, not being in the stadium. I'm going to go with someone who's played football or is playing football versus those that haven't. What do you think Kudus is feeling on the pitch? When he's grafting, yeah, the last couple of games at points, he was switched off. But from the start of the season, he's been the one who's been he's been our biggest threat. People talking about Thomas Souček as our biggest goal threat. To even state that, how do you feel about that? Here's a what if. What if the beginning of this season, if you could go back and I'd say to you, what if Thomas Souček, after 6 games, would be our biggest goal threat? Would you be happy? Would you? No, you wouldn't, because you'd say, no, hold on, we've got Kudus, Paqueta, we've paid for Jimmy, we've paid for Fore, we've got Solet, we've got a raft of attacking players, we've got Bowen. I don't know if I said it, we've got Mickey. And we were telling you, at this stage still, people are saying, he's our biggest goal threat. He's getting 90 minutes over Paqueta and Kudus. What if I'd have told you that at the beginning of the season? Would you have been happy then? Kudus is world class. World class. Someone I got shit for saying I'd put him in, I think I said top 5 in the world currently. In the world football currently, considering he's playing in the best, most aggressive, fastest league. Excuse me, and how do we know? Look at all the people that are coming over for Bundesliga, or even blessing Rodriguez. Like, do you know what? Love the geezer, love the play. He's got class about him. Could have played for Barcelona, apparently. But look at him in our midfield in the Premier League. He's lost. But yet you've got Kudus. Look what he's doing. And in his position, you're going to tell me there's 5 better players than him in world football at the minute. Bollocks. We've got a world-class player in Kudus. World class. Right? And yet, we're playing him out of position. He currently is our biggest threat. At the minute, if you was to say, right, who's first on your team sheet, I'd say Kudus. Where would you have him? Well, if it has to be on the left. But otherwise, false number 9, number 10, or out on the right. He's that good at the minute, I would put him in any of them 3. Would you not? Who would you put in front of him currently? Looking how he plays when he picks up the balls and drives. Think of a number 10. Who would you put in front of Kudus in a number 10? At the minute, our strikers, they're not firing. In fact, bless him, Mick, he didn't do bad, but he spent half the game out on the wing again. Would you not give Kudus a little shot in that false number 9? Again, thinking of how he plays. Or on the right. So I go back to what I said before. Come that half-time substitution, would you have taken off of that game what you just watched, knowing you've got a replacement left winger who can come on, and he's actually a left winger, Jimmy? Would you have taken Kudus off over Bowen? So, if Kudus is now going, sod this, like, you saw what I did for you last season, I had to play me way in under the other soppy bollocks that was running us before, managed to do that because irrefutably I'm your best player. Now I'm having to do it again. I've been shunted out to the left hand side as if basically I'm the makeshift. I'm not the best on the right. I'm sorry, on current form, Kudus is much better on the right wing than Bowen is. Much more effective than Bowen is. On current form, which is all we've got to go on. That's all we've got to go on. Would you not be surprised if he was saying, agent, have a look in January, because I don't fancy this. And again, whose fault is that? This is Lopetegui's fault. End on a positive. As I said, and if you got this far, thank you very much. This is why I'm super positive about our whole situation. Having someone there to watch the game with the other day, a proper West Ham fan, it was wonderful. It meant the world. Because like I said, as West Ham fans, we know our club. Like the DNA is ingrained in us. Like we would bleed Claret and Blue for Claret and Blue every single time. And no one's bigger than our club. And the truth is, the positive I see in this is, first and foremost, our current squad. Our current squad is fantastic. It really is. I know they're not playing great at the moment. That, though, you've got to at least suggest is down to the fact that there's not been a playing style implemented for them to build on. Because what is the absolute necessity of the start of any good season? Momentum. We've had none. And we've had none because of the coaching tactical decisions that have been made from the first game right up until the 6th league game, plus your other 2 games. What are the 2 games that you can really, in fact, what's the one game that you can really absolutely draw from this season? Is it not the Man City game? Because even the Brentford game, like I said, first half, and our goal against Brentford, good goal, like the football, but we should be doing that. We should have done that plenty of times by now. That should be our first sort of ticky-tacky, nice goal. What was the other goals we scored? They've all been smash and grabs, and even that was to an extent, but shout out to Sussex, he finished it. We've got an amazing squad of players, and I'm from a positive and I don't think delusional perspective. We've got an opportunity this season, regardless of who's the coach, to push on. I don't see Lopetegui, if we don't get the win against Ipswich, then he is definitely under the cosh. He is under the cosh. He can't have the same credit as Moisey had, surely not. So the way I look at it is we've just got to not let it get us down. Because for the first time in a long time, having someone there to share the moment with and talk about West Ham and the memories, it made me realise this is a blip. Something's going on that I can't put my finger on, but it's all right. There's so much more to come. This season is obviously not a write-off yet. Lopetegui is not doing himself any favours. And for the record, I'm not Loppy out. I know a lot of people are already, and can you blame them? I'm not Loppy out. What I am, though, is good football in. And we've got the footballers to play good football. So if the person, regardless of who it is not implementing even the most basic style of on front foot football, that on the turn front foot football that we should be playing, which when we have played, like on our goal, we can carve anyone up, then that person, that's the bit of the jigsaw that they get removed. They can go. What we get left with, though, no matter what, is this wonderful group of players. Now, I know it's only until January, and I never want us to lose. But if he is going to go, I want him to fuck off before January, because we don't want to be stuck with him over a really potentially messy transfer period. Can you imagine if it carries on this vein of form, we get into January, Kudus is talking about a move. Who else at that stage is going to be completely disgruntled? So, roll on Ipswich. We're going to do Ipswich. We're going to fucking do them. I know we are. Come on, Loppy. Play our best 11. Start off our best 11 players. Give it a crack. See what happens. Because I can tell you this. Souček and Mick do not get in our current first team 11 on anyone's paper sheet. I don't give a toss what anyone says. Not on anyone's team sheet. Not with what we've currently got at the club. Come on, you Irons. We've got this.